My dad worked when we were growing up. He had worked some hard hours because we would go to school and come home, and then he would be gone, and he would work like the 3 to midnight shift. So there was a period of time there that it was hard because we didn't get to see him like as much as we wanted to. But he was very, very involved in our lives, and like I said, so was my mom. Both were very adamant about bringing us up in a Christian home. We had to go to church. We couldn't miss unless we were throwing up or sick. So they were that was very important to both of them. My mom had her own struggles because she dealt with a lot of health issues and a lot of things that kept her during my junior high years, where she was in the hospital quite a bit and not present. So that was hard on me because my mom was my best friend. My mom was someone that I could go to and share anything with, and she never judged, very easy to talk to. So it was very, very hard because during those junior high years and up is when, she couldn't be as present as she wanted to, but it wasn't because she didn't want to, it was because she couldn't, because of her health reasons and health things that she went through. It was very difficult on me because she, even after having half of her lung removed, she continued smoking. So I had a lot of bitterness and almost resentment towards her because I felt like she chose smoking over her children and over her family because she continued smoking even after they said, if you keep smoking, you're gonna die. So I ended up taking her to that last appointment, and they said, your mom needs to get to the hospital. And so I got her to the hospital, and 3 days later, she passed away. It was a really interesting experience. Not that you want to see a parent pass away, but those last 3 days we were able to almost apologize. I told her I was sorry for having resentment towards her. We were able to all of us were able to get everything right. So when she did take her last breath, it was a very interesting experience because my dad leaned over and told her, it's okay, you can go now. And it was within minutes that she took her last breath. The day that I found out that I had cancer, that was that was actually very difficult because I had went through quite a few biopsies before that. I had had a couple mammograms. I had had a few very uncomfortable biopsies done. Then when I actually got the final diagnosis, they actually called me on the phone at our house, which was really odd and weird. And so they called me, and the girls just got home from school, and my friend's boy was here as well because I would watch him after school. And Jeremy wasn't here. And so I had to go outside and talk. And I remember hearing them tell me that, what I had, and they were trying to explain to me. At that point, they didn't know what stage it was, but they told me it was I believe it was like grade 2, which is in the middle. It's not slow growing, but it's not like the fastest growing. And that was hard because hearing that over the phone, and then my, husband not being here to be there with me, and then me trying to hide it from the girls, my emotion, it was a pretty difficult day. It almost seemed unreal. It's one of those moments where you don't know if this is really true or not. But I remember coming in and not crying because I was just trying to hold it together because I didn't want, them to know. I would actually tell Jeremy that I felt like I was drowning at times because I just felt like I had been strong through this, tragic moment and made it through, but then another one would come, and then I would be strong and make it through. And then by the time you go through a lot of things, you get kind of wore out. And so I felt like I was drowning at some points where I just felt like I couldn't catch a breath because I just felt like one thing after another happened. And during those moments, I feel like I kind of maybe fell away from God. If people saw me, they probably didn't think that about me because I was very good at putting on the face and kind of being strong when I needed to. But deep down inside, I feel like there were moments that I was kind of numb, because I was kind of tired of being messed with. If I'm being honest, and honestly, worship music, I was a worship leader, and being a worship leader, for whatever reason, I got to a spot where I couldn't even listen to worship music, which is crazy because I love music and it means so much to me. But I think because the words in a lot of the worship music is about God, His love, and forgiveness and being there for you, and I felt like He wasn't, there. And then there was a lot of things that during that time that I went through that I think made it very difficult. But eventually I don't know the moment, but eventually I got to the other side and realized, even though I went through all these difficult moments, that God was there. I mean, even though I felt like He wasn't there during that moment, He was there because He pulled me through it, and I'm still here. The line, that God's not going to put you through anything that you can't handle. And I believe that that's taken out of context. So I believe that if you allow God to, allow Him to work through difficult moments, then He can use that to make you stronger, but it's with Him. For whatever reason, like I circled, even when at a young age, Psalm 23, which the beginning of it's so like, it almost starts off so dark and like depressing, but it's such an amazing reminder that no matter what, that even though I walk through the valley of death, like I fear no evil, like God is there, God is walking. And it's weird because I'll look at that scripture and I'll think about even me going through like cancer and all that. I think about that, like even though I walk through the valley of, death, it's like I felt like at that time that I was gonna die, but like even during that moment, that scripture was like so important to me because I felt like God was there. God was walking beside me.